Om Shanti. Today Baba begins the Murli with sweet children have unlimited disinterest in this old world because the Father is creating the new home of the heaven for you. So Baba says, have unlimited disinterest in this old world because the Father is creating the new home of heaven for you. Now we will understand this word, unlimited disinterest, and we will compare it to another phrase which is limited disinterest. So, these days people say that I'm not interested in anything. I'm not interested in life. And there is a lack of interest in everything. Have you seen people who are going through that phase? Yes. So there are, so usually when you inquire into why is this feeling of disinterest coming in people, then you see that they have been hurt or their trust has been broken, and then it's that wound. From that wounded place they are speaking this language that I'm not interested anymore. Or sometimes in Hindi we use a word Shamshan Vairagi. And what is Shamshan Vairagi? So when someone leaves the body and you go to the crematorium, then in that moment everybody speaks this language. So what is there in life changes in a second. So जीवन में क्या रखा है? Yes, so we shouldn't be so greedy, and so we should be virtuous and conduct ourselves in a fair manner. We don't know when somebody will leave. So all this language will come up, but as soon as you come out of the crematorium, that changes. Yes, so then after some time, maybe half an hour, again you get busy in your vicious world and vicious life. So that's very temporary disinterest. So there are many kinds of disinterest which you see in the world. Another kind is the way people experience depression. So, I don't even feel like getting out of bed, or so all that is there. And then there are some who are very interested. So you are out there performing, engaging, everything with a lot of passion, but then with that passion there is greed, there is attachment, and then there is a lot of being upset and being in a state of upheaval because of that. So that's also there. So there is engagement and there is no disinterest. And Baba tells us to have, it's a desirable quality according to Baba, to have unlimited disinterest. Now, what is unlimited disinterest? Unlimited disinterest is a state of mind where you engage with everyone and everything totally and completely. But you don't attach because you know the truth. Yes, because you know the truth. Now, what do you know the truth about? So you see that Baba has given us the truth about the sanskars of souls. Yes, and Baba has told us that if you are doing something, it's being driven by your sanskars or nature. Yes, And then the way the other person will respond to it is according to their sanskars, their nature. Correct? So, when you hold this truth in your intellect, so you know how you hold something with a tweezer? So, like that, when while conducting yourself during the day, you hold this truth in your buddhi, then even when you are doing something and the recipient of your action is a human being, you do it with the awareness that whatever they will respond to your action, so how they will respond or how much they will give you the return of what you're doing, will be completely based on their sanskars. And what they give back to you doesn't dictate the quality of your action or the success of your action. Yes, so, there is this young girl, and she used to come to the center, and she came for 3 days continuously, and as soon as I would start to get up, after the session, I would say, okay, so I have another session, so I will take your leave. So then she would say, Didi, please sit with me another half hour. I have a lot to say, and there are so many problems I'm going through. And then because I had time, I did that. And then for 3 days she came, and then fourth day onwards, she didn't come for a month. Okay. And then after a month, she called. And then she said, Didi, I'm very ashamed. I couldn't keep up my, regularity, and I'm not an early riser. And the only time you give me is in the morning. So I ended up sleeping for 4 days. And then I ended up thinking about what you would be thinking about me. So then I didn't come, and I didn't have the courage to talk. And then now it's a month and I'm totally drained, and I want to come for a recharge, but I don't know how to ask you for time. And you must have thought, you must have felt bad that I didn't turn up. So I said, no, I understand very well that what you do is about you, not about me. So, and I understand that every soul is going through a lot. So it doesn't bother me. You can call me and come whenever you want. And if I have time, I will always give you. Yes? So that's how you understand that when you are engaging with people, you keep this awareness in your buddhi that whatever you do, even if you lay your life, on a platter for somebody, they will only respond according to their capacity. Yes, and when you do everything with this awareness, then you will never fall into the trap of attachment or disappointment. Okay, and you have to hold this continuously in your buddhi. Continuously, not like, and we don't really become aware when this awareness slips. So somewhere down the journey, sometimes for 3 days, 4 days, 1 month, 10 years, you're engaging with somebody, and then you suddenly forget this little thing. And then the moment you forget, that's the moment you start getting disappointed. Yes. So Baba says continuously, this is why everyday class Baba is giving us. Every day Baba says you sit in silence and reflect over what I am telling you, because if you don't hold it in your awareness, then Maya is just standing outside the door knocking to get an entry, and then she will come in the form of sorrow and disappointment. So this is one aspect of unlimited disinterest. Then the second thing is, when you are engaging with things and objects, you should know that they are made up of the 5 elements of nature which are tamo pradhan, which don't have any capacity in them. Yes, so even if you buy something, you have spent a hefty amount on something. It doesn't, that hefty amount of your spending doesn't ensure that the thing that you bought will be durable and will serve the purpose for which it is bought. Yes, so Baba says, I don't stop you from spending. Yes, if you think that, if you really, we are all driven by our sanskars. So, even so, Baba says that you should know Shrimat, don't waste your money, and money is a resource, use it for seva and all of that. But still, if you are spending something on something driven by your sanskar, you should know that I'm spending it because I am driven by my sanskar, but it doesn't guarantee that I will get the return I want to get out of it or I expect out of it. I will tell you one very interesting thing. So there is this sister, and she's a practicing BK for a long time. Like, she's been in Gyan for 10 years or so. And then her husband planned a trip abroad, and this was pre-COVID. And then they planned a trip abroad, and she told her husband, I am not interested in going for a vacation, and I feel that's spending money on wasteful things. And but anyways, the husband was not in Gyan, and he said, no, let's go. And then what happened is, they went, the kids and the whole family, they went. And then as soon as they entered the airport, they missed a bag. So somehow the bag they were carrying was missed, and that bag had money and an iPhone in it. And and then because of that, she said, 7 days we spent there, and my husband was so perturbed by that incident of losing that bag of money and the phone, that he kept going to the police and finding out, conducting inquiries and this and that, and the whole trip was spent in that. And she said, the thief took some of our joy, and Maya took the rest of the joy. So even if the thief had taken that one bag, it's okay. We could have at least enjoyed the payment that we did on other things. But then my husband couldn't stop thinking about it. And I relaxed and enjoyed. She said he was the one interested. He was the one who planned the trip, and he didn't enjoy the trip a bit also, because he was not trained in unlimited disinterest. So I was trained in unlimited disinterest. So I said, okay, what is gone, let me enjoy. And he used to go to the police station, I used to relax in the room and have a nice time. So she said, I had a good trip, Didi, and I didn't spend anything, he spent everything, he didn't enjoy. So Baba says, you should be, when when you don't understand the truth, you create emotions which are unnecessary. Emotions where you feel loss, emotion where you feel disappointment or hurt or fear. And when you don't know the truth, you create these emotions, and these emotions you create and experience out of your own, choice and doing. But Baba says, when you have unlimited disinterest and you understand the truth about everything, you engage with everything, but you don't create the same emotions as other people do. You don't create the emotion of attachment or fear or anything. And now you know that death is nothing, it's a change of costume. So even in the face of illness, so what is pain? Pain is karmic settlement. Pain doesn't scare you. Pain comes and pain goes. That's how it works. Yes, pain comes. There'll be physical pain, there'll be financial pain, but there won't be emotional pain. There could be legal pain, you will get caught up in an issue, you might have financial pain, you might experience physical pain, but it shouldn't translate into emotional pain, because you understand that the nature of pain is it comes, it goes, it doesn't stay. No pain stays. Yes, pain just teaches the lesson and goes. And the lesson you have to learn is how to endure pain. Yes, and once you learn the lesson, the pain goes away. So you are not afraid of pain, or you shouldn't be. Even if you're not, even if you are, now that Baba is teaching us, we will slowly be in a space where we are not afraid of pain, because we know. So this knowing, this deep knowing about the truth, enables you to experience emotions which are different from how you experienced it earlier. So, and you're not afraid of death, because you know that there is nothing like death, it's a change of costume. So it's not like you avoid anything, you don't avoid anything, you don't avoid people, you don't avoid situations, you don't avoid anything. But while fully engaging with everything, because you know the truth, you don't create the emotions. So you are very passionate and completely dispassionate. So when people see you, they will feel like you're so absorbed in the work, or you're talking so much and engaging so well. But then in your heart, you know the truth, and that truth allows you to do everything in a detached fashion. And that's called unlimited disinterest. And Baba says, why are you so disinterested in the world? Because you know it's old. And we have to live here, so we have to operate with full enthusiasm and energy, and with virtues and powers, because that is an expression of who I am, and I can't stop being myself. But because we know that it's old, and it doesn't have the capacity to give you everything in return, the way you earlier expected it to. Now you know this is an old world. So the old world, anything old is not durable, right? It can just collapse any moment. So, so you are aware that anything can collapse any moment, so you don't found your well-being and your emotional well-being on the existence or the state of anything external. And Baba says, and you're very interested in the new world. You are attached to your new home that you'll be going to, and Baba says, I'm creating heaven for you. So you are interested in that, and you're interested in Baba. So you are also attached and emotional, but about Baba and about the new world that you're creating. So this is the attitude with which Baba asks us to move forward. And then in the Murli today, Baba says that in the world around us, people do not understand, people create obstacles for BKs. So not very much these days, because these days, there is a positive publicity, especially after Shivani Ben, there's a word that spread that BKs are good people and doing good work. But earlier, there was this lot of negative propaganda, and people were really, they felt that BKs are some wrong kind of people, and they are doing something different. So, so Baba says, in the Murli, Baba asked this question today. So Baba says, due to what things are there obstacles in this imperishable sacrificial fire of Rudra? So Baba says, I, Shiv Baba, have come. And you see, God has come and created this yajna, and it is God's work. And yet we had to go through so much of defamation and so many obstacles. So Baba says, why do you think this happened? So Baba asks this in the question today and gives the answer. It's because of three things. So first thing, people think devotion is good, and people think that good people do bhakti. Yes, people, and in the world also people say this is a bhagat soul, so he's a nice man. है ना, ये तो बहुत भक्ति वाला है, अच्छा आदमी है. So they always say that people who do bhakti are good. And when we get gyan, we stop doing bhakti mostly. Yes, so there's a phase until we do it all together, but then we get over bhakti. Yes, and people see this, that these people don't do bhakti, and then they have a problem with you because they think that bhakti is important if you're a good person, and they don't understand what is it that you've got, that you have given up bhakti, but they have a problem with this, you leaving bhakti. And Baba says that now that from tomorrow onwards there is Navratra also, so Navratra is starting, and Baba says that you have been worshipping Shri, Brahma, Saraswati, and the deities, and the now Durgas and Shri Krishna and everybody. And now Baba says you have been celebrating festivals in the light of burning Holika and doing these things very externally and very materialistically. And now Baba says, I have given you the secret of everything. And now you understand that whatever you did in bhakti was a remembrance, a yadgar, or something done in the remembrance of what Baba teaches you to do spiritually in Sangam Yuga. Okay, so physical practices in bhakti are an offshoot of spiritual practices in Sangam Yuga. So whatever you do internally now is celebrated physically in bhakti, because they don't know how to do it internally, they don't recognize the soul or God, so they start doing it physically. Now today I will explain to you in very brief terms this whole calendar. So in one calendar year you have many festivals that we observe in bhakti. And Baba says this whole calendar year, this alignment of festivals, this chronology of festivals is based on the chronology of events that take place in Sangam Yuga. Okay, so let's understand that. So you see, the first festival of the year is Shivratri. Yes, because Sangam Yuga begins when Baba comes. Okay, and then the second festival is Holika. Yes, and Baba today explains Holika also. Baba says that just like they burn twigs and pieces of wood in Holika, or cow dung, or whatever they make out of cow dung, they burn in Holika. You are burning your impurities in the fire of yoga. Okay, so Baba says, for every purification, burning is required. And you don't burn your impurities in physical fire. So the soul is impure now, and you burn your impurities in the fire of yoga. We will do a little churning on this also, fire of yoga and burning impurities. But let's understand this one thing, that Holika is a remembrance of this thing that we do in Sangam Yuga. And then the third festival is Raksha Bandhan. And the power of yoga enables you to take the vow of purity. So when you have meditated enough, so with the power of yoga, you gather the experience and the power to decide that now I want to observe purity, complete celibacy in grihasthashram and all. It takes time. So, it doesn't happen overnight. So, this patit buddhi, when it gets purified in the fire of yoga, you come to a place in your life where you decide that I want to embrace purity, and you take a vow of purity, and that vow is remembered as Raksha Bandhan, and it is purity that protects you. And I think it was in yesterday's Murli or day before yesterday, Baba said, people will come with the intention of harming you, but they will not be able to touch you. And that's because of purity. Yes, and Baba says that purity will be protecting you, and that's why it's called Raksha Bandhan. And then after that, there is Shri Krishna Janmashtami. So Baba says in the Murli today, very interestingly, that in bhakti we say Shri Krishna is Yogeshwar. Yes, he is Yogeshwar means he is the highest yogi. Yes. Now Baba says God will not do yoga. So by doing yoga, you become Yogeshwar, which is through this purging and through this remembrance of Baba, you become like Shri Krishna. And that's why Baba says, after this Holika, this Raksha Bandhan, ultimately what you become is Yogeshwar. So by doing this yoga, you will become Yogeshwar. And then Baba says that after that there is Navratri. So after Shri Krishna is born, then revelation will take place, because the beginning of Satyug is Deepavali, 111. Yes, so the first day of Satyug, where Sri Lakshmi and Narayan sit on the throne, that is why Deepavali is celebrated. So Baba says, so Deepavali is celebrated as a remembrance of Sri Lakshmi and Narayan sitting on the throne. And in between that, you see, there will be this whole, pratyakshta, this whole revelation where people will come to know these are the Shaktis. These brothers and sisters, they are the ones we were remembering in Bhakti as Navdurgas. And then Ravan will be finished. So there will be total annihilation of Kaliyug, not of the world, but of Kaliyug. And then Satyug will emerge. So in between Janmashtami and Deepavali, there will be Navratri and Dashera, and unlimited Dashera, where the whole world operates. So this whole consciousness of vices will get over. So Baba says this is how you have understood what is what, and so now you are disinterested in bhakti. So it's not like you have some problem with doing Navratra. Yes, but you understand that we better spend those 9 days, or rather, just the whole Sangam Yuga is there to become a deity. But especially in those 9 days, let's stay in such good awareness that other people also get this message that these are the ones becoming the deities we are worshipping. And Baba says that during Navratra, everybody is calling out to you. Do you realize that? So you better be in such a good spiritual stage that you are able to fulfill their wishes. So you are able to be in a state of peace and donate peace. Be in a state of happiness and power and donate power at that time. So Baba says this is why we do not do bhakti anymore, and then people have a problem with that. And then the second thing is vices. People think that vices are normal, natural, and desirable. So people think it is not normal to not seek lust, ego, attachment, greed. Yes, when you don't seek these things, they find there is something not normal with you. And there's this brother, and he's a BK, and then he told his parents, I'm not interested in marriage. And then his parents said that, why are you not interested? So he said, I'm just not interested. I don't understand why it's important. So his parents said, if you're not interested in girls, you're interested in boys, you can let me know. Because they don't feel that somebody is not interested in lust is okay. So they thought maybe he is not able to express himself, but but he must be interested in someone or something. So you see, people don't understand how you can get over vices. Yes, and then you do altruistic service, they always feel you must be getting something. Otherwise, how would you do it, or why would you do it? So they don't understand how you can conduct life without attachment, without greed. So they don't understand selfless living. And then they knack their brains and come up with something very wild and outrageous as an explanation for why you behave like you behave. So then they have a problem with that. And the third thing Baba says today is, everybody wants that things should get better. Yes, so when even when you come to the center, so in the beginning when people come, they think that we have come here to get the blessing that everything will be okay. Yes, and everything will get better and will get more organized. But here, Baba in the Murli will say, tomorrow there'll be destruction, and whatever you have is going to go away. And then people are very confused because they think that it is a blessing to say everything will get better. But Baba says, no, everything is going to get only worse tomorrow. And you prepare for it. And then what they don't understand is, Baba is saying that without the collapse of Kali Yuga, there cannot be a new structure in place. There cannot be a new Sanskriti or a new world in place. So Baba says that in this collapse, so the next scene after this collapse is a world of order and purity and peace. But they get very put off by this idea of destruction. And I remember there was this one sister, and she heard the Murli sometimes, and we didn't have a lot of conversation, so I couldn't explain many things to her. But she somehow, according to drama, she started sitting in the Murli. And then after 3-4 Murli, she didn't come. And then I called her and she said, what do I come and listen? Tum mar jaoge, dunya khatam ho jayegi. Every day in the Murli, Baba is only saying the world will be destroyed, you will die. So I don't want to do that. So I said, is that not true? So she said, even if it's true, I don't want to hear it every day. And then you see that now that sister is a very good BK, and because ultimately, it takes time to understand these things, to understand how destruction is a part of the creative process. So Baba says that because people fail to understand these things in the first instance, so they have aversion to what you teach, and they have an aversion to your teachings and your learnings. So this is why there are so many obstacles. And then a little about how you burn your impurities in the fire of yoga. So, let's understand. So there is a question also, what is patit and pavan? So patit means impure, pavan means pure. Now, What is impure? So when a soul is impure, so we have understood the journey of the soul. You take birth after birth after birth, and then you change costume, come into motion. So energy in motion depletes itself. Okay, so you lose your energy. Now when you lose your energy, then you start filling yourself with something that's not good for you. So you were made of purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, and power, and knowledge. And now you start filling yourself with lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed. And then you become very weak and impure. And when you become impure, then what happens is all our organs become weak. So the soul is weak, so the organs of the soul are weak. What are the organs of the soul? The man, buddhi, and the sanskar. So the soul is weak, the mind is weak, and a weak mind creates self-destructive thoughts. A weak buddhi makes decisions which are bad for your karmic journey. Yes, so this is how you start operating. And this is why you see this same buddhi is focusing on everything bad and everything negative these days. Why? Because this buddhi has become impure. And the man is creating thoughts which are making you feel peaceless, restless, upset. Your own mind, right? Why? Because it's impure. Now Baba says, when you connect your mind and your buddhi to me, which is you start listening to the Murli, you start sitting in yoga and reflecting over what Baba says, creating visual images of the truth about yourself that Baba tells, about the world that Baba says, then your mind and buddhi start operating differently than it does today. And then your thoughts change, your decisions, your focus starts shifting. And that's when we say you're becoming purer, because you, the soul, is being filled with true knowledge, true love, true peace. So that's your basic design, right? So you're getting what you need. So then you start becoming powerful. And when you, the soul, become powerful, your organs, the man and buddhi, start working for you, not against you. So this is the thing. So churn over it, okay? Om Shanti. Now today is Amavasya Bhog, and there are souls who have sent loving remembrances for their ancestors who have left. So we will take those remembrances to Baba. Very lovingly we'll offer Shraddh Bhog. And then from tomorrow onwards, since it is Navratri, you will be receiving specific directions for every day. So Swaman practices. So we just discussed how we have to become a deity in Sangam Yuga. So use these 9 days very well, because these 9 days will be supported by good consciousness all around you. Yes, so even the people in the world will observe some degree of purity. So it's a very good time to use that environment around you. And what you do is every day you will be receiving certain directions for what to observe and practice during the day. You do that very honestly and in a committed way. And every day before sleeping, submit your chart so that you pay attention to how much you practice during the day. And every day I want to receive each of your charts. Okay, so practice the practice you're given by the center, so that we will create a collective consciousness, and then submit your chart very diligently every day. All right, now we'll offer Bhog to Baba. I will take you to the other room. Give me 2 minutes. Om Shanti.